Hello.
Oh.
Oh, I caught him. I did the thing,
I
guys.
was taking a drink. Fuck. God damn it.
I did the thing. I caught him while he was fucking sipping.
I'm sorry that I'm a human being that requires fuel. Sustenance.
By the way, it's like 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah, no, we decided to just say fuck it and just be here super, super early. I totally didn't spend the night. Actually, no, we totally didn't spend the night watching comedy shows. And then, of course, as you can see from the picture, we watched Age of Ultron. And considering the fact we watched Age of Ultron, I looked at him and said, we're probably going to end up talking about this in the podcast.
Yeah, and then we might go into, like, because we watched Brad Williams and Preacher Lawson.
Okay, yeah.
And if you don't know who those guys are, we'll talk a little bit about it. Because it's two things that, white people shouldn't be talking about. Tall white people.
Oh, root beer. Nice.
Boot rear.
Oh, tall white people, so This is just me. Nice.
I don't think we should be talking about a midget and a black guy, but that's fine.
That's just...
It's just a thing.
It's just people.
I know.
Anyway, before we get into any of that, Age of Ultron. So we just got off of watching...
Or finishing, yeah.
Or finishing. Well, we watched the whole movie.
We watched the whole movie, but there was like a 6-hour gap in between because it was 3:30 in the morning, and we're like, we should probably go to bed so we're not dead for the podcast. And then we're like, we only need 6 hours of sleep, right? Yeah, that's good enough.
We have root beer, it's fine.
Yeah, we got boot rear.
Anyway.
I got a monster downstairs.
So, hot take. This is probably one of my go-tos for an Avengers movie.
Yeah.
Like, Infinity War is great, Endgame's great. Like, every other Avengers movie is great.
The only problem with, if Infinity War and Endgame are... If you're trying to get, a friend into it, it's not where to start. You don't start at the end.
No. But I feel like if you want to get someone into watching... If you want to get someone into watching a Marvel movie, and they don't care where you start as long as you hook them in, I feel like this would be the movie.
Yeah.
Because this is as, comic book Marvel could have gotten. Actually, this is about as comic book movie as Marvel could get away with at the time.
Yeah.
Because they were still riding on the idea of, it's Avengers, but set in a somewhat real-life scenario and not just comic book land.
Yeah, because if this was set in comic book land...
Ultron would be God. He would literally just be made of nanotech.
Yeah, he would. Also, Hulkbuster wouldn't look like this.
God, Hulkbuster would look like a monster.
Yeah. Hulk would look like a monster, period. Hulk would be the monster.
And of course, me being the wonderfully over-analytical douchebag that I am, I had a flurry of wonderful fun facts.
No, that's fine.
To talk about.
Dog, I enjoy, having just fun. Because I would do the same with you if it was, if we were watching shit that I knew a lot about. That's like if you got into anime and you were like, oh, well, I want to know, little itty-bitty things about this. I would probably tell you, because it's that's just how we are. We want to know the in-depth scoop on most shit, because so it makes it feel more realistic when we watch it.
Yeah. What I liked is, in my opinion, the Age of Ultron, suits, everyone looked...
Good.
As good as they possibly could get. Because in my opinion, this design, the Cap's design, Widow's design, Hulk, he changed his pants. That's all it really is. But, all these...
He got pants that grew with him.
Yeah. But, all these different... all the new designs are great. The Cap suit is fucking great. It's the perfect
You have the Mark
blend.
44 before the Mark 44.
No, you have Mark 43, which was... It was effectively just the fucking prodigal son from Iron Man 3, but actually finished.
Yeah. Because the Mark 43 was that thing...
Mark 42 was the prototype that Iron Man was rocking in Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
The nice gold and red suit rather than red and gold.
Yeah. on, my orb is
This-
vibrating.
This is, in my opinion, this is probably the best the Avengers ever looked.
Yeah.
That is my opinion. I love their designs for these Avengers because they're not too real. They definitely go with like the comic book feel of like these are just superheroes that have these varying designs but still look just badass.
Yeah. There's a bunch where it's like Cap's suit took like all the good parts about like his original suit and the comic book style, and it's just like, all right, let's put those together. That looks good, right?
It was a perfect blend between the Winter Soldier suit from from Captain America 2014,
Yeah.
the Winter Soldier, and the first Avengers movie.
Yeah. Took all the good parts.
Yeah. And it just made a really nice looking suit. Thor.
It's kind of hard to get a Black Widow suit looking bad in a sense.
I mean,
There's not really
the
like,
Black Widow movie could tell you some things.
well, yeah, that, but like like doing the Avengers movie, there's not really a suit where she looks like bad in. The suit might look bad, but like it works for her.
Well, yeah, because it's Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah. If it was anybody else, it would look there.
But
It wouldn't look terrible. That's wrong.
another reason I really liked this movie, I would say above some of the other Avengers movies or some of the other Marvel movies in general, Ultron. Literally the main character, almost the main character of the story. This guy is like up there in my opinion when it comes to Marvel villains. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Because he just had like his voice actor, like the actual actor behind Ultron, he has this fucking like presence, this gravitas to him.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love about Ultron is like he's still the cold, calculating asshole that Ultron's supposed to be, but he has that like Tony Stark-esque like mannerism about him because he's just like he's confident and like with good reason. He's fucking Ultron.
Yeah, having the mindset of Ultron and knowing the things that you know. Yeah, why wouldn't you just be? It's like, okay, cool. I know what's going to happen. I know, like all this shit.
Yeah, like the thing between him and Tony when he was like, the vibranium's getting away, and he's like, "You're not going anywhere." Of course, I'm already there. You'll catch on.
Yeah.
But first, you might need to catch Dr. Banner.
It's like he knew. He knew what he was doing beforehand. He was always one step ahead, or in this case, you know,
One Hulk ahead.
Yeah. He always had a way to, you know.
Which of course brings us to the scene. It brings us to one of the most fan servicey scenes in like the entirety of the MCU almost, which is Hulk versus Hulkbuster.
Yep.
Oh my god. Yes.
Like the fight is good. What we get the most enjoyment out of is the Hulkbuster building itself.
Oh yeah. No,
that's
just
that's
Veronica, literally codename Veronica, is just it's so fucking cool. It's literally just a satellite shitting out the armor from space as it flies towards Tony, and it's just like builds itself around him in pieces. But the thing I love about it, which is another nice little fact I gave you, a normal Iron Man suit is typically powered with one singular arc reactor in the chest, you know, as you do. Yeah, no.
This one?
Yeah, no, with Hulkbuster,
there's 15.
There's like 15.
There's like 15 these are arc reactors.
I think he said when like they were trying to like figure out how many arc reactors, there's 5 in the chest, 2 like 1 in each leg and each arm, or is there 2 in each leg?
There's like 2 in each leg and each arm.
So yeah, there would be in total it's just a ridiculous amount.
Well, you have to think that's just like
And
a
then there's like,
testament
and then
to
there's
how much power.
yeah, and then there's like 3 or 4 in the back.
Yeah, it's just like a testament to how much fucking power this suit needs to fight and beat the shit out of Hulk. Because it's a fucking Hulk, like, you know.
Yeah, you can't just like
the fucking piston punch, just go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
Oh, you gonna break my hand now? I'm just gonna eat your hand. No more. Hey Jarvis, how fast can we buy this building?
How fast? Yeah, no. How fast can we buy this building? As he just first of all, he missiles the supports, so that way it doesn't topple over on everyone, just collapses, and he just fucking pushes Hulk through all the already collapsing building. Literally, what it took to beat Hulk was dropping a building on his head, essentially.
Yeah. No. So, we got Hulkbuster out of the way. The one thing that every good Avengers movie has is fucking teamwork and the fucking
Jesus Christ,
spiciness.
The absolute fucking combos these people were doing. Like, this... Because, again, we've seen Avengers movies. We've seen them do some teamwork.
Yeah.
But this is, like, the most cohesive
This
they've been.
This is the most cohesive they've been since the original Avengers movie. And that was still, like, lackluster on certain parts.
Literally, some of the only times where they actually worked together was like, oh, Iron Man shooting Cap's shield to do that fucking refractor thing.
But in this movie, you fucking see it all. You see a tank pull up with a bunch of Hydra soldiers.
Yeah,
and Cap's
Thor's just like they're lining up. Well, they're excited. Like, shield up, hammer down, fucking
shockwave. It's nuts. I think like my favorite thing to quote from like the comics to like the movies is Cap going, "Oh, I can see faster." That's my favorite. That's my favorite. Like joke.
He doesn't even say that in the movie, but it's still like
it's a joke.
It's hilarious to me because
it's a joke in the comics because they're like, "Hey Cap, why do you have such good reaction time?" He's like, "I can see faster." What does that even mean?
Like again, in Marvel's Avengers, the video game, he has like a nice little chat with Kamala, aka Miss Marvel, and he. Like, Miss Marvel's like, man, you do a lot of really cool ricochet stuff with your shield. How do you get it to where it's, like, so perfect and it always comes back to you and stuff like that? And he's just like, I see faster. It's like, I see differently. I see faster. It's like, how does that make sense? Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I just
pretty
like,
much, like, Cap sees everything in slow-mo,
like, he's not a scientist. He's like, there's no way of actually...
There's no calculated formula he can think of to be like, oh yeah, I just do this. No, he's just like, I either see stuff faster than it can register, or I see things slow down. In theory, they should have just said, I see things like...
yeah, but I see like, things faster is so much funnier.
It's from the eyes of the soldier. Like, that's just how they would interpret it.
Yeah, remember, these are the same guys that called sneakers Go Fasters.
Mm-hmm. This is the same movie where you get to see the original Avengers Jays.
Oh my god. Literally, Quicksilver. That's all Quicksilver's known for.
Is his Jays?
Is the fucking shoes he's wearing? Just like, what gets me is that like it's always close up on his like fucking shoes as well. It's great.
Yeah. Literally, when they're all getting set to fight Ultron in the fucking place. Everybody's like suiting up. Tony's getting the suit on. Cap has the shield on his arm. Cuts to Quicksilver putting on shoes.
Literally putting on shoes and like a fucking track sweater.
Yeah, dude. He
like...
doesn't. So this was like a conversation that I don't want to like get off topic, but the difference between Quicksilver, Flash, and
Quicksilver does not hold a
No. Like the guy from X-Men. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Nightcrawler?
No, the
the other Quicksilver.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, well, no, the two variations of
Yeah, there's like the
Quicksilver.
two Quicksilvers, and then there's the Flash.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, oh, there's Quicksilver in this one, and then there's Quicksilver in X-Men, and it's like, everyone was having a debate on which one was faster. It doesn't matter because
the
two...
Flash.
Yeah, no, everything gets trumped because of the Flash. It's like talking about a martial arts specialist and putting like Black Panther and Captain America, and it's like,
who would win a fight, Black Panther or Captain America?
Batman.
Yes. We always go back to. It always comes back to Batman.
It always comes back to Batman because this man learning 17 different fighting styles within the year.
There was a comic actually. There was a comic where it was Marvel versus DC, and there was a fight between Batman and Cap, and it was literally so fucking perfectly even that they were both getting tired at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, it was just the perfect feint, the perfect counter. It's literally, these two fucking guys were so good at fighting, they couldn't beat each other.
They couldn't even, get a lick on each other, and it's so funny. But other things I find really funny is, so when they're going up in the city, Cap's like, the air's getting thinner.
It's like, yeah, I feel like the air's getting thinner. It's like, considering the fact this guy's a super soldier and his lung capacity is
his
significantly
lung capacity
better.
is, I can chase down a submarine.
Yeah, no, it's like his lung capacity is significantly better than the average humans, and he's just like,
I can tell the air's getting thin.
If he can tell the air's getting thin, that's
You're
how you
too
know
high.
you're too fucking high.
You're too high in the air. I love it because all the things about Cap that makes it really funny, and this is from the first movie, the first Winter Soldier movie, where it's oh yeah, Cap's because
Cap can combo the fuck up.
Well, no, one of the things that he says is oh yeah, a German scientist doing experiments on you.
No, that was in the first Avenger. That wasn't in fucking Captain America. The first Avenger was when he had the German scientists work on him, and it's just yeah. As Maria Hill's talking to them about the Maximov twins,
yeah,
of oh yeah, it's crazy that they let this fucking Hydra scientist work on them, and Cap's just yeah, what kind of monster would let a German scientist run experiments on them to protect their country? We're not at war, Cap. They are.
Yeah, pretty much.
Literally, mind you, this is before he got his ass beat by both Quicksilver and Wanda. They both got a lick in and then dipped. This is after the fact that they both got their significant lick in on that siege for the staff.
Yeah.
And then dipped. And Cap's still yeah, I'm still gonna sympathize with them.
They're fighting a war. We're not. That's just how it is. But other shit where it's oh, Cap's lung capacity and just all the feats that he has, just casually, I have a 60-foot vertical. What?
What gets me is that even without the suit,
yeah,
without the shield, this motherfucker is ready.
Yeah.
When Ultron is just piecing our time and just sends out the drones, the first thing he instinctively does is kick up a 20 to 30 pound table, a full-on wood table that's very
that's literally in the room. He kicks it up to block.
He doesn't just kick it up. He kicks it up 5 feet of clearance between the part of the table and the floor to block one of the Ultron bots.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting here this was instinctive.
Yeah. Well, because normally he would do that to the shield. He would kick up the shield, and then he's just this table will work.
Fuck it, yeah. Table works, it's fine.
Fucking the other thing where
you want to talk teamwork? Fucking Hawkeye just going, Cap tosses the shield. Cap midair
spins around, throws shield.
Midair catches the shield, does a little fucking spin, and then just shit whips the shield into an Ultron bot.
Yeah.
God, I fucking love this movie because it's...
You see, the newfound teamwork that these guys are, wanting to put together. And since the city hasn't been in grave danger...
Yeah, it's just I love this movie because it's everything I want from an Avengers movie. They're working together, they're a cohesive team, they're dripped the fuck up. It is... it is everything I want from an Avengers movie.
You would think Tony Stark has like the drip, but it's like he makes his suits. Cap is just drip. Period.
Yeah. I mean, then again, Tony probably makes his suits too, but it's like Cap is legit just. He is constantly dripped out.
The problem is, Tony can make Cap's suit and make it really good to, like, withstand certain shit. But at the end of the day, Cap's the one that designs the suit.
Cap's just
he makes it look the way it does. He tells Tony, it's like, this is how I want it to look.
This is how it needs to look, man. Gotta rep the good old US of A.
Gotta rep the US of A while I'm
like
1.9 horsepower punching people.
God, it's so stupid. I love it.
Just a single jab.
Not even a haymaker. No, these are like lightning fast punches that he is doing on Iron Man.
Yeah, you wonder why he like breaks the sandbag so easily.
Yeah, no, breaks the sand. So imagine getting kicked in the chest
by essentially two horses. By almost
two horses at the same time. That's effectively getting like jabbed by Captain America.
Yeah, like gut punched by Cap.
Jesus Christ,
dude, it's nuts.
I want to watch Civil War now because that's like we talk about all this shit about Captain America and like all his combos, his power, just awesomeness. It's like. The two movies that show this the most is Winter Soldier and Civil War.
Yeah, no, it's one of these days we're gonna do a podcast like the day or like the week after we do a fucking Marvel marathon, and it's gonna be like a 4-hour podcast.
Oh God!
And I'm gonna be like, all right, so what?
So we're not gonna sleep.
What didn't we geek over that we still need to cover? Oh. So something else that we talked about in a not recent podcast, but like one of our first podcasts about Spider-Man with William Dafoe. We said William Dafoe is the GOAT, and then Cap's just like, what about me, man? Look at all the cool shit I can do. And it's like, but William Dafoe's old, and he's still able to do it. That's why he
that's why we're a lot more impressed, because William Dafoe is like what, pushing 60.
Yeah. I think at the moment he is 62.
Yeah, and he's like fucking Batista bombing Tom Holland through like
Batista
multiple
bombing
floors.
Someone of like our age.
But oh my God, another thing that I really, because this entire podcast is just us gushing about this movie.
That's what most podcasts are. But like sometimes we have a good idea, and then other times we're like, oh, what we want to do podcast about, and then we'll like
we'll watch a movie.
Either watch a movie or we'll think of some shit. Because, like, the only other thing that, like, the podcast probably would have been about is, oh, hey, so we watched a comedian last night. He's a midget. We also watched another comedian. He's black.
And we watched two comedians, and then we watched fucking Captain America and Black Widow beating the shit out of robots. But
the fact that Black Widow is literally solely an assassin, she has no, like, super, like,
she has no neither does Hawkeye, but they're still able to hold their own. Like, they get some good moments.
Yeah, but Hawkeye's got, like, Cap vision.
He sees faster.
He sees faster. I mean, you got it with a bow and arrow, dude.
He never misses. He has a passive perception of 30. Fuck off. He constantly rolls mythic for every shot he takes.
Duck, just Hawkeye. Roll to hit that guy. Oh, I rolled a 47. What the fuck?
Why do you? Oh, it's like, why the fuck do you have a?
Why do you have a plus 32 in attack?
Yeah, why do you have a plus 32 in fucking?
Why do you have a plus 32 in perception and to hit?
Oh man, but
I have a plus 14 magic power on a bow.
Another thing that's really nice is. Every Avenger, and this is something that every Avengers movie needs to accomplish at least once. Everyone gets their moment.
Yeah.
Sure, some of them aren't as big as like the others. Like, I'm sorry, Thor fucking skinny dipping in like the fucking mind altering drug pool so he can see the Infinity Stones. That's plot driven, like plot wise, great, awesome, but. Then you have Iron Man. Just, oh shit, Hulk's on a rampage. Well, time to call in Veronica. As he just starts beating the shit out of Hulk.
Go to sleep.
God. the fucking elevator scene where Hulk tries to charge Iron Man after Iron Man's saving, like, people in an elevator. He just fucking kicks him.
Literally, it's
He punted the Hulk.
Iron Man standing in front of the elevator so people don't get hurt, grabs the elevator after it gets broken. Hulk runs at Iron Man. He's just like, what?
Iron Man fucking punts him.
Just dunk. Just, oh, you were confronting me. Oh, I see.
God.
Fucking the shit we've, like, literally we've done so much shit in the past, like, 24 hours. Did D&D yesterday.
So tired.
Yeah, honestly.
Like,
we're so dead.
Honestly, when I get back home, I'm probably just gonna fucking take a shower and go back to sleep. I didn't get a lot of sleep.
Yeah, same here.
Oh, Jesus.
I think we got, like, maybe 2 or 4 hours.
Everyone gets some really good lines in, too.
Yeah, everyone gets some, like, really good shit in.
Like, obviously Cap and Iron Man, they probably get, like, the best lines. But the nice little argument they had when chopping wood, and you're just like, why the fuck is RDJ so jacked?
Yeah, no. So there's I don't know if anyone's ever seen it, but they're on one of the talk shows with I forget, I can't remember if it was like Jimmy Fallon or it was
probably
Jimmy
Fallon.
It was probably Jimmy or like or one it was one of them. But they were on a show and they were starting to show like pictures of the Avengers after like their workout, and it was Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth sitting next to each other, and they showed a picture of RDJ, and Chris is like, "Oh yeah, that's my arm," and you get over to Maria, and she's sitting there like, "Oh, that's RDJ." It's like, that's Robert Downey Jr.?
It's like, what the fuck?
He's yoked as fuck! And he's in an Iron Man suit all the time.
It's fucking scary.
Yeah. Like, he's in an Iron Man suit, but he looks just as, like, ripped as fucking...
Chris
Evans, yeah. It's, like, it's nuts. It's just, it's so funny, because that whole scene where it's like, oh... They're chopping wood and they're having the argument.
And Chris Evans just like, rips a fucking log in half.
Ends argument, rips a log in half barehanded. It's like, oh, so Clint wanted to know if you could go and check on a tractor.
Don't take from my pile, Steve.
Don't take from my pile, Steve. As you can see a significant height difference between
the two piles
Cap's
of wood.
Pile and Iron Man's pile.
Yeah, because they were like in a chopping wood contest.
I don't even think they were in a contest. They were just chopping wood, and like for every 3 that Cap chopped,
they're like college dorm friends. Everything's a competition between them.
Everything, dude. But it's funny because everything's a competition. But Tony will never try to recreate the serum that made Cap.
God, that would be
nuts. Because Tony could do it.
Funny? You know what's funny is every person that has tried to do that has fucked up.
Yeah, that's fucked up in like one way or another.
It's like, oh yeah, no, Oscorp tried doing that with like a bunch of spiders, and it's like, oh well, we made Spider-Man, but I also made like a bunch of other stupid shit. Like they were trying to replicate the Super Soldier Serum, and they made the Goblin.
Yeah. Oh hey, we made Spider-Man. So we're gonna try to make this for another guy.
They were trying.
But it gives you schizophrenia.
They were also Jesus. They were also again. Ross was trying to have the fucking Super Soldier Serum recreated. Guess what happened? Hulk.
Yeah.
God,
dude, like all the things to like The problem is like I feel like now like past Endgame, if Tony Stark wanted to like make the super,
if he was still alive,
yeah, if he was still alive and he's like, oh, I wanna make the serum, I feel like he could. If
this fucker could crack time travel at like fucking 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, no, it's nuts. Because now that they have time travel, they don't even need to create it. They just go back to like that one point.
Go back before that wonderful German scientist died and like,
and just ask him what the fuck he did. Dude, I don't know why, but like. Brain was just like the only other movie I've watched since like watching this was like, oh yeah, we watched the comedy shows, and then I fucking watched Narnia yesterday with the woman before we went to D&D, and Narnia was just like.
Narnia's a far cry from what we were watching.
Narnia's like, oh, you want to know how D&D started? Watch Narnia. There you go.
Narnia is
clap,
just
clap, clap.
Narnia is just Harry Potter, but for really hardcore Christians.
Yeah, I mean, Harry Potter is just lightsabers with shitty wooden sticks.
Fuck off.
It is.
Back
It
to Avengers. Back to
I
Avengers.
was talking about another movie I watched, but that's I wasn't trying to get off track. It's just like
Yeah.
all the shit that we've done / watched within like the last 48 hours.
I love how it introduced 3 new characters and then just ended up killing one of them.
And yes, we're gonna introduce Quicksilver, Wanda, and Vision.
Oh wait. Well,
Oh, wait.
I guess it's just Wanda and Vision now.
Oh wait, we don't like Quicksilver? Fuck that guy. I wish he didn't die, because he literally had one debut, and then they're like, but X-Men has a better Quicksilver, and then that's a whole fucking debate that they had to have.
Jesus.
And then there's the Flash that says, fuck you, time travel.
Oh god. Just
We could go on, like...
no, it's just fucking...
The difference between, like, Marvel... I don't know. If we ever done a comparison between, like, the movies of, like, Marvel and DC?
We're definitely going to have to talk about the Schneider Cut eventually.
Yeah, we'll eventually talk about it.
Because that was a fucking journey. That movie is a stamina run.
So if you guys, like, don't remember the end of the movie, Captain America walks out, and it's Vision, Wanda, Clint, and... No, it's not Clint. It's War Machine, Vision, Wanda, and Sam.
Yeah.
With Widow behind him, and he's like, Avengers! And then there's a cut.
off.
And then there's a cut, but there's a deleted scene where he's like,
Or he's
gotcha!
It's like pointing at the camera, just, ah!
Because it's funny as shit. And then, so the end credits is where we get to see the purple boy.
The big purple boy just going, fine, I'll do it myself.
Fine, I'll do it myself.
Dude, Jarvis was the fucking goat in this movie.
Yeah, he
though.
was.
It's like actively, like subconsciously, not even knowing he's doing it, just stopping Ultron from getting nuclear launch codes. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's why he, like, did the thing with, you know, the place. Because he's like, I can't have the nuclear launch codes.
Did the thing with the place. Very descriptive, Adrian.
He brought up a city.
Oh, yeah, Sokovia.
Yeah. He said, you know what?
I'll just
fuck
if I
Sokovia.
can't get the nukes, I'll just make a fucking meteor.
Yeah, if I can't get the nukes, I'll just make something equivalent.
And had the Avengers solve that problem by evacuating the city while it was still in the air and blowing it up.
And blowing it up, and then you see Hulk going, yes, I have a ship now.
I'm gonna go into space.
I'm gonna go into space. Time to go be a gladiator.
Yeah, time to... We will never see him again until Thor Ragnarok. Thor just fucks off at the end of the movie. He's like, oh yeah, I need to figure out more about these Infinity Stones.
It's funny because it's like, hey, I want to go see more about the Infinity Stones. Goes Ragnarok.
Time to take another hit of that pool.
Yeah, it's like, oh, and then Ragnarok happens, and we get all the way to Infinity War. Yeah. Also, debut of Spider-Man and Black Panther is Civil War, so we probably should watch it.
We probably should.
We probably will.
Yeah.
Depends on how long this takes. You gotta be home.
I mean,
I'm
dead already, so it
Dead
really
already?
doesn't matter.
So I'll just bring you home at midnight.
Oh, Christ.
I wouldn't do that. That's mean.
I have video games to play.
I do too.
You have Vault of Glass.
Yeah, I wish. Vault of Glass isn't that fun. It's literally just a meme of I have double fusion nids. I go, haha, throw it. I'm throwing grenades at people. It's like a Call of Duty simulator.
God.
Fucking cross map throwing knives. Yay.
okay. Here's a good question. What aspect of this movie did you enjoy the most? What was the thing that this movie did right that you were just like, you know what? Fuck yeah.
Besides the suits.
Besides the drip. Yeah, besides the drip.
Besides the drip. That is the whole movie. That's it. That's the only
It's
thing.
literally...
No, I think like the concept behind like Jarvis and Ultron talking, like that whole
like that final scene where
that whole interaction, and then after when Jarvis gets rebuilt, where he's like, "Oh yeah, I was subconsciously fucking him over."
he didn't even know. The final scene between Jarvis and Ultron, where it's just like, yeah, no, they think it's like. Jarvis is like, yeah, no, they think chaos and order are like apparent, are like
things.
opposites and shit like that. Ultron's just like, they're doomed. He's like, yeah, but there's grace in their failings. It's an honor to be among them. Like, something isn't great because it lasts, and it's just like, you're unbearably naive.
I was only born yesterday. And it's like, Ultron was born like
Ultron was born like a fucking month ago.
Ultron was born a month ago. Vision was born a day ago, and then it's like, oh yeah, but we're sentient artificial intelligence.
A day is like 100 years.
A day is roughly between like 50 to 100 years of like knowledge.
One of the best lines to ever come from a robot was you ever see? Have you seen the show? It's an animated comedy. It's Inside Job. That's what it's called. Inside Job. Basically, there's this one robot, and he tells one of the main characters, like, you do understand, I'm like a Wi-Fi connection away from being your god, right?
Yeah, because they really are. Artificial AI, they get anything close to, a supercomputer's worth of connectivity, and it's like, oh, well, there's your world. Dead.
I still love how for Iron Man, this was riding off the high of Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
And the thing is with Iron Man 3, not a lot of people enjoyed it too much. I loved it because it was just like fucking Iron Man, like. But
Iron Man is and isn't the poster boy for like most Avengers movies.
Yeah, because it's RDJ. He fucking like literally this shit started with Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
But
I think it's really funny because something like not like probably a lot of people know this now, but RDJ, when he started making the Iron Man movies, Marvel didn't have enough to like
they didn't have enough to pay him,
so he gets revenue based off of every movie, even Endgame.
He's done, but he's still getting paid.
He's still getting paid because he physically didn't get paid enough the first 3 movies.
Yeah, because fucking Iron Man, like, he is so close to having as much money as Iron Man.
Yeah, Tony Stark could have Adam Sandler drip, and you would never know he's rich.
Adam Sandler.
Dog, Adam Sandler Adam Sandler is one of like the most one of like the like original actors for like a majority of the stuff we grew up on, like Grown Ups, bedtime stories, like a bunch of shit. And he walks around like he's your average dad. Yeah. He walks around in shorts and a sweatshirt.
Yeah, because he doesn't need to fucking...
He doesn't care to look good.
Do you see the wonderful comparison between Brie Larson's Twitter account and like Robert Downey Jr.'s Twitter account, where it's like Brie Larson's, it's like, oh yeah, I'm all these things, like cat owner, stuff like that, and it's just like a really nice professional looking, Twitter profile picture. Yeah. And then it's just like RDJ's, and it literally just says, you know who I am, and it's him in this fucking bunny suit.
I love it. I do love something about like the whole Marvel cast, like period, like all the Spider-Mans, all the different Hulks, like just genuinely all of them. it doesn't matter, like, if they're in Marvel anymore, because, like, RDJ is done, Chris Evans is done. It doesn't matter, because literally, I think, like, after Endgame...
They're done, but they're not gone.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Well, it's more of, like... It's really weird, because it's, like... Oh, yeah, they're done, but... I think right after Endgame, like, a week after they got done filming Endgame, there was a bunch of Twitter and, like, Instagram pictures from Tom Holland, RDJ, Chris, and both of the Chris's, and, like, a bunch of the other Marvel cast, and they were literally all, like, they all went on, like, I think RDJ and Tom went on, like, a hike, and they were just doing a bunch of shit afterward. They're, like, essentially celebrating Chris and RDJ's retirement.
Well, not retire. They didn't stop making movies.
They didn't stop, but, like, it was their retirement from, like, oh, hey, we're officially done with Marvel.
Until
we might come back.
Until they come back. It's not even just it's not even a case of,
it's
like...
when.
Yeah, it's not a case of, like, if. It's more a case of when.
Because Chris did say, like, after not doing movies for, like, what, I think it's 2 years now? Now he wants to direct his own movie. Because he's bored.
I mean, he's been doing nothing but fucking cameo. Like, the only thing that he's done in the past, like, year is, like, Knives Out, which I'm pretty sure was more than 2 years ago.
Knives Out was really fucking good.
It was definitely a breath of fresh air for me, because, like, I've never seen that many murder mysteries.
Knives Out and, what the fuck was it? It was... I don't think this has anything...
It was the fucking train car.
No. There was another movie where it was, like, it was Knives Out, and it was Family Game Night. Those were, like, the two movies that came out that I watched. Family Game Night, I don't think had anybody in it from Marvel. It might have had Sam, but I don't remember. I don't remember exactly who the cast was. But those were the two movies, like, that was after, like, around the same time Endgame, like, was a thing. Where I was like, oh, Knives Out is, like, I think, what, like, a year and a half after Endgame or something? Yeah. And then it's like, oh, hi, Cap! It's like, oh,
but yeah, no,
you're still doing shit.
He went from playing that one character from Knives Out,
yeah,
and then we watched Free Guy, and he had a fucking cameo. It was...
What was it?
Remember Endgame?
Remember... Who had a fucking cameo in Free Guy?
Let's see. Cap,
Jack,
Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, a bunch of YouTubers,
a bunch of
streamers.
Pewds had, I think Felix, Mark, and Jack had, Felix, Mark, and Sean had they all had cameos. Cap had a cameo.
Fucking Daihi Denobu was probably in there for
all
we know.
He wasn't. I don't think he was.
But
all I know is that it's like, get up, guy. You see the Cap shield come up, and it's like, what the shit?
What the shit?
You
language!
I swear they fucking did that in that game. Like Ryan just looking at the camera. Language!
God. But, you know, remember Avengers Endgame? The whole concept of... Literally, this was a fucking thing that was just... Like, Avengers...
I take the big one.
I was like, don't spoil the Endgame. Like, you had everyone saying, don't spoil the Endgame. You had all the cast saying and stuff like that. I remember there was a story my friend told... There was a story Mike told me. And it was literally...
one of these times we're going to get some of our friends on this podcast eventually. So you guys don't, like, just randomly think we have a shit ton of friends and we're just lying.
Yeah. Well, people were... He told me a story. He didn't see it, but it happened. People were waiting to watch Avengers Endgame. They were, like, waiting outside for the other people's movie to be over and everything get cleaned up.
Yeah.
And there was this one fucking guy who just walked out, like, after everyone left, he walked out of the fucking theater. Not out of the theater, but he walked out of that room, and he just looked at everyone who was, like, really anticipating to watch this movie and, like, ready, and he just rang off every fucking spoiler he could, and they collectively beat the shit out of him.
Jesus.
Like, Iron Man dies, Widow dies. It's like, Black Widow dies to give you guys the Soul Stone. Iron Man dies doing the snap. Cap's worthy. And it's just like they just went at him.
Like, why you gotta do that, dude?
I just love how it's like immediately though, without a second thought, they are on his ass.
It was on site before you could get any more spoilers out. It's like, you fucking moron.
Beat the shit
I mean,
out of him.
I mean, it's not as bad as fucking Tom Holland not knowing how to keep a fucking secret.
Oh my god, I still love the story of like Tom Holland's like, oh, this is a sad scene. It's like, I don't know what's going on in this scene because they didn't tell him this was Iron Man's funeral.
Because he would spoil it.
Yeah, because he wouldn't try to. He did his best to keep his mouth shut.
No, he did. And most of the time it was like, oh, so Spider-Man Homecoming is up. Yeah, we just got done filming it. And like, he just started talking about a bunch of shit. I'm like, Tom?
That's probably what the director was thinking.
Oh my god, no, Zendaya was sitting next to Tom and she's like,
Shut the fuck
I'm going
up.
to fucking choke you.
I just imagine the fucking director just watching this like, Tom, no.
What was it? Oh, so there was a snap cut of Tom like before Marvel and then after Marvel where it's like, oh yeah, it'd be really cool to play Spider-Man. Oh yeah, who's your favorite actress? Oh, probably Zendaya. And now he's fucking just making out with Zendaya in his car, and I'm like, you know, this man literally got everything he asked for.
I still love how it was not a talk show.
Yeah.
You had Andrew Garfield and, you know, Tom
Totally.
Holland. Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland, they were there first.
Oh yeah, fucking.
They were there first.
Nobody wants to talk to Toby because Toby
like,
fucking stank eyes everybody.
No, you're gonna love this. They had all the attention, right? And then fucking Toby walks in, and everyone just immediately looks at him.
Just
like,
snap head.
Yes. Because he's the original. He's the fucking OG.
Yeah, no. Fucking, so it's really funny where it's like, oh yeah, Tobey Maguire was like, oh yeah, I'll get back in the Spider-Man suit. Andrew Garfield was like, I didn't think I'd have to squeeze into spandex again.
What I still love is that, like, literally the only reason Andrew put the fucking spandex back on is because, well, Toby's fucking doing it, so
I gotta fucking do it.
Yeah, it's like,
I
can't let this asshole's pushing 40, you know,
I can't let
show me up.
I can't let this asshole that's fallen off of a horse and pushing 40.
My back.
Oh, my back. So yeah, if you guys didn't know, I think we talked about this in the podcast, but fucking Toby played the jockey in the movie Seabiscuit, and he fell off the horse and fucked up his back. So that's why in Spider-Man 2, when he loses his powers, he's like, my back. That's not from him falling. That's actual back injury.
Actual pain.
That's actual back injury.
It's legitimate pain. That's not just, like, acting.
I mean, it's the same thing with Bruce Lee. He fucking sprained his ankle and still did the train running scene after spraining his ankle.
Let's not forget about... You ever seen the first Punisher movie? Like,
yeah.
the original one. The guy with... The actor who played the same guy from The Mist.
Yeah.
Well, anyway. There was the scene between Frank Castle, Punisher, and this giant, burly Russian dude.
Mm-hmm.
And he pulls out fucking, like, you know, the little butterfly knife and stuff like that. He's like, ha! And he stabs the Russian dude. It was originally supposed to be a prop knife that when... It was like one of those, like, telescopic knives where you push it down and it would just recede into the handle.
This didn't.
It was the wrong knife.
When he stabbed him, when he stabbed him with an actual knife. And the Russian guy didn't break character. He just fucking took it. In that scene, when you see him get stabbed, he actually got fucking stabbed because the director's like, well, fucking, the guy got stabbed. Use it, like.
We can't cut it now. We're not gonna do the same.
We're not gonna fucking do the same scene twice. The guy literally got fucking stabbed for this. Use the shot.
So yes, when you see blood dripping down, that's actual blood.
Yeah, that's actual bodily fluids exiting this man's wound. Like
they bandaged it afterwards, but like the fact that the
This
doesn't break
motherfucker
character.
Yeah, no, this motherfucker is literally just like, oh, I just got stabbed in the shoulder. Don't break character. Don't break character.
I don't think it was that. Like, honestly, looking at the guy, I don't feel like
You didn't feel a goddamn thing.
I don't think that phased him.
That's
at
a
all.
fucking needle prick.
It's like, pain.
What were some other, like, instances where actors actually did get fucked up? Oh! In Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
When the Scarlet Witch is like, oh, I get to see my kids, and they're just like, get the fuck away from us! They're like throwing shit at her, and like one of the toys hits her head. She's like, stop it! That's actually Elizabeth Olsen breaking character, yelling at the two little shits to stop throwing stuff at her. And the director was like, fuck it, keep it in, like. Oh, it's great.
I think it's funny. There's other like times where like, oh yeah, there was actual like guns and
there are instances where in most of the more current Avengers movies, like everything past the Iron Man trilogy, a good 50 to 60% of Robert Downey Jr.'s lines were just improv.
Yeah. So. Another thing that like we talked
like
about
he is dangerously close to just being Tony Stark.
Yeah. Another thing that we talked about is like how Cap's so good at fight scenes.
Oh my god. Yeah. So for those who don't know, believe it or not, our good old buddy Captain America, Mr. Chris Evans himself, yeah. So he used to tap dance. Which means like he was really good with rhythm, and apparently it correlates very well with fight choreography. And I'm just sitting here, I'm like, huh.
So there was like there's one, I don't remember if it's actually out, but there's one scene that you can see Chris and the guy that plays Bucky, them doing the fight scene of him fighting in this.
What was it, Sebastian?
Yeah. So there's a fight scene between like Sebastian
those two
and Chris, and when they're doing that, Chris was going too fast for Sebastian, so he was literally.
Oh my god!
It was like he was always a step ahead, like Sebastian.
Jesus.
So one of the times he parried something faster, like he was supposed to do a parry, and he did it faster than Sebastian expected, so he knocked the knife out, like the prop knife, out of his hand, and Chris was like,
shit.
I'm just like,
dude, you saying that reminds me of the fucking, I forgot what movie it was, but it had Donnie Yen in it.
Yeah. And
basically, he was in this, like, fucking iron nightstick, like, you know, those batons, those, like, telescopic batons. He was basically in a fight doing that with, like, another actor. And this motherfucker was just, like, if you don't know who Donnie Yen is, he is fast. He is, like, this guy was too fast. The fucking guy he was fighting couldn't keep up and was legitimately getting hit.
What's another time? Oh, so the one thing that I told you.
Oh yeah,
was, like, the Terminator thing.
Yeah, what was it? It was T.
It was T. It wasn't. I forget what like model number of Terminator it was.
Was it the Liquid Dude? Was it the bitch with the red jacket?
I'm trying to. No, it was a guy.
So it was the Liquid Dude.
Probably. It was probably him.
It was probably T2. Oh yeah, no, I know. It was T2.
Okay.
Because it's him literally just fucking sprinting.
Yeah. So the guy that plays T2.
No, the guy that
trained.
No, the guy that plays the T1000 in Terminator 2.
Yeah.
T2 is the name of the film.
Yeah. So the guy that plays that Terminator, he trained to do that chase scene so well, he started catching up to the bike.
Imagine training so hard that you literally are out sprinting a fucking motorcycle.
Yeah, he literally was catching up to the motorcycle where the directors had to tell him, slow your pace.
Slow the fuck down.
Because he was catching up to Johnny too fast. And the problem is, it didn't matter what pace he was going at, he was still, like, stone-faced.
Yeah, because you're fucking death machine. You don't just go...
Dude, it was, like... The couple, like... That's why, like, Marvel and, like, certain movies just get to us, because it's, like, literally just people trained for
Christ, these people...
shit.
Yeah, like, these people might actually be fucking superhuman sometimes.
Well, yeah, it's like Tom Holland doing most of his stunts.
Also, this isn't just us giving prompts to the actors. This is also us giving prompts to
their trainers.
Not just their trainers, but the stunt doubles,
yeah.
the guys who actually do choreography. Like
these guys are like
we've been spending this entire time just gushing about the actors, gushing about all the fucking cool shit they've done, but it's like you also have to remember it wasn't just them doing this.
Yeah, it wasn't. Like, do I think that Chris Evans could have, thought of most of the fight choreography by himself? Of course he probably could. But that's not
take a professional.
Yeah, he would have
He's
to,
a tap dancer, not a street boxer.
Well, no, he would have to sit down with someone and being like, oh, this is how I want the fight scene to go. But he'd still have to sit down with someone that knows how to choreograph fights and still go that extra mile of getting someone to choreograph it. Why do that when you could just have someone come in and teach Chris and Sebastian a fight scene? Or Chris and Tony, where it's like, oh, hey.
I love the Captain America movies because it's just like, what new and creative ways can we have Cap beat the shit out of people with his shield?
Yeah, that's really...
Like, a borderline, like, almost killing people with his shield.
Yeah, so the one thing that, like, we don't hate about this movie, but the mag gauntlet for the shield.
I'm not a fan.
Like,
it just feels like a cheat.
It seemed like it only had like one good purpose, where he sticks his shield into someone and he doesn't have to run.
Or he just has, or like if his shield loses its inertia on its flight back to him, and he's just like, oh well, shit, magnets. Like that's like that. I can see the utility
that's practical,
in it,
but that's not.
It kind of just feels like a cheat, and I'm really.
It's not Cap. Like, it's practical to have that, but it's not Cap.
I'm really happy.
Cap is like someone that like, oh fuck, I screwed up on how I'm supposed to throw my shield. I have to go get it now.
I'm really happy how they actually for the rest of the Avengers movies, for the rest of the Captain America
then you
movies,
wouldn't see the cool scene of him having like his big cut on his arm and him just like ripping.
Yeah, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work the same way with the magnet. Just presses a button, the fucking shard just rips out of his arm due to the magnet. Just that's not better at all.
Well, yeah, because you have to seal an exposed wound, so it's just like.
But, like, for God's sake, I'm just really happy they kept the straps. Like, after they realized, like, okay, we had our fun with the magnet.
Yeah, it was a cool design and it's practical, but it's not Cap.
Yeah, it's like the whole is like for him to
the whole reason of Cap is, oh, I'm really fucking good with this shield. Let me prove it.
And
not let me have a mag gauntlet that just
calls the shield back.
Yeah, it's not.
Remember, guys.
Now he has Thor's hammer.
Remember, guys.
He is worthy.
He sees faster.
Yeah, he sees faster. Although he's worthy now.
Although he's worthy now.
He's worthy. By my calculations, he's worthy.
By my calculations. Oh God! But getting back to Age of Ultron after that wonderful.
We're still talking.
Yeah, we're still talking. We were talking Marvel in general, but doubling back to Age of Ultron.
A lot of good things happened, and a lot of good things were like flushed out in this movie, where it's like,
yeah,
it was a lot of things where they went and they're like, oh yeah, we could change this, and it won't really affect it.
Heroes are only, like, a superhero movie is only as good as the villain you put forth.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is probably one of the best Marvel villains we've had in a while. And the fact that he only survived one movie sucks.
No, I thought of something. You're like, put the best villain forward. Where's Robbie Rotten?
Fuck off.
Dog. I don't know what it was, but dude, something with like everybody. So if people didn't know, and we're gonna get off track, literally it's gonna take me a minute to explain this. Fucking Destiny 2 went, oh, we have a scene that's like, oh, everyone fighting their nightmares. Next scene, Yar har fiddle dee dee, is the literal next season of like the Drifter and a bunch of fucking Fallen being pirates.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's funny because a lot of people are like quoting the song, and I'm like, do you know where that song comes from? And they're like, no. And I'm like, it comes from Lazy Town. They're like, what the fuck is Lazy Town? And I'm like,
uncultured swines.
You don't know of the boy Robbie Rotten? Okay.
God damn it.
I think that's fucking hilarious.
Back to Ultron. For a character that is, okay. Granted, Thanos is the same thing, but I'm going to say this because...
Ultron.
Did Ultron do it first?
What?
Oh, I think he did. For a character that's like majority just CG the entire time, it's so good. Like, the CG is just really, really well done.
They stole it from Star Wars.
Shut up. But, like,
Kidding.
this is a robot. This is a robot death machine, yet he still has just these wonderful, expressive tones. You still see the cockiness.
I mean, the Hulk's CG.
Yeah, but I'm talking about a metal death machine having such, like, expressiveness. Like, you see the cocky smirk he has when he says...
Yeah, you see the smirk, you see, like, how the faceplate gets ripped off partially. You see human emotion in a death machine.
Yeah, and I really just love how they did Ultron. He's not just, like, the monotone, like, you know, fuck humanity, fuck the Avengers. It's still fuck the Avengers and fuck humanity, but it's not... He's not, like, just a cold, calculating machine anymore. Like, you see him actually have some semblance of emotion because he's an AI.
Yeah.
He's actually... He's getting closer and closer to just being alive.
Yeah. Just needed vision.
Yeah. That would have sucked.
Anyway, I would have.
If you've seen the What If episode of, like, what if Ultron got his way and, like, won?
Yeah.
But yeah, just we mainly just did this podcast getting off the high of the movie. And of course, there's a lot more that could be said about this movie, but I feel like we're just too tired to give it any justice.
Not even give it any justice. Just we did a lot more than just watch Age of Ultron last night, where it's like...
We watched 2 comedy specials next to it as well, so it's like, yeah, things are getting warped. I'm pretty sure during the Battle of Sokovia, there was like a guy with dwarfism.
There's a guy with dwarfism fucking humping a woman.
Yeah, just...
So if you guys don't know, if you have Amazon Prime Video,
go watch the comedy special Brad Williams Fun Size. It's pretty fun.
Go watch that. Go watch Preacher. Go watch his
Preacher Lawrence.
Preacher Lost.
Are you talking about the guy who lost $1 million and
to a 12-year-old on AGT?
Yeah, to like a fucking what was
a ventriloquist.
A ventriloquist.
She didn't open her mouth the whole time.
She didn't say a goddamn thing. Got $1 million.
You know how hard it feels to lose $1 million to someone who still does shows? You never know the feeling.
All right. Well,
all right. We'll see you guys next time.
We'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Go watch shit on Amazon Prime Video.